When we go into cobra pose, it's really hard to open the chest. If you take your arms by your side and just open your hands, it's a wonderful way to open this upper chest area. So today we have a very short practice where we're working on opening the shoulders nicely for an inchworm pose. Sometimes it's called 8 point pose. It has a wonderful way of preparing us for that nice opening in cobra. Let's begin. As if you're lifting a heavy tray with your hands. So your palms are lifting up. Keep your elbows hugging in as you take your hands nice and wide, right? Just hug in and reach your hands out and draw your hands in and extend them out. You feel the shoulder blades really hugging in when you do that. Release your hands down. We'll check in with that movement again. But first, take your hands right above your knees. And in this position, as we prepare for going to a seated position in our chair, draw your knees back slightly. Draw the tailbone down slightly. Draw the front ribs back slightly. Now lift your arms up. Take your hands even wider apart so you can get that feeling of the shoulder blades hugging in, just like when the elbows were hugging close to the ribs. Root down before rising up and slightly back. And exhale, release your hands to your sides. Inhale with the fingers really extended so that you engage from the fingertips all the way to the armpits. Reach your arms up and slightly back. Exhale, come down to a forward fold to place your hands by your ankles and step yourself back to a plank position. So in your plank position, see if you can pull the hands to the midline. Lift your heels up and move your heels forward so that as you lower yourself down to the mat, you can go very slow and with strength. Draw your heart forward and exhale, soften down. Two more. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, soften. Inhale, lift up, just get your back muscles strong. Exhale and soften. Come to all fours position and walk yourself back on your mat. So you're just maybe even off your mat here to start with. We have the full length of our mat to work with now as we work on this posture that I call inchworm. A teacher of mine offered this years ago, and I really like it as a way to work the shoulders and work the back muscles nicely. As we come down, place your hands again wider apart than shoulder width. Your baby finger might be off the mat. With your toes tucked under, draw your heart forward and lower your chest down. Have your pelvis lifted. With the work of your hands, press your hands back to reach your heart forward. Now your feet are probably off the mat. You're way back on your mat. Now the inchworm has you press your knees down so your pelvis lifts up. Now with your pelvis lifted up, scoot your heart forward, and it's just barely an inch when you do this. So press your knees down, and with your hands to your side, press your knees down to push your heart forward and rise up to a cobra. Same thing, press your knees down, Draw your heart forward. Use your hands to help you. Just move slowly, inch by inch. You're pressing your knees down. It lifts your pelvis up, working the actions of the legs. You're drawing your heart forward to rise up. And inch by inch, you're getting a little bit closer to the top of your mat. Knees pressed down, pelvis lifts up. You're drawing your heart forward. It's a slow process, but it teaches you so much about the action of the pelvic area, and the shoulders work to just reach your heart forward. So it's not too much work of the hands. You're just trying to get a lot of movement of the pelvis. The knees press down, the pelvis lifts up. You inch your way to the front of the mat. Almost there. Lift the pelvis high, push forward, rise up. And one last time, knees press down, pelvis lifts up. Move your heart forward. If you're not at the front of the mat, no worries. Just pause here. Pause in your choice. Half downward dog, full downward dog, child's pose, whatever works for you. Come to pause. Receive a nice in breath and out breath. The inchworm can be a very powerful pose. So let your breath just help you restore and elongate those muscles that became somewhat more engaged in the back body, somewhat more contracted through the actions that we were just doing. Take 3 more breaths in whatever pose you chose. And let's all meet at the front of the mat. As you make your way to the front of the mat, place your hands to your low back and rise up in Tadasana. Thank you so much for the practice and for exploring ways to open the shoulder through this inchworm approach. Namaste.